Okay, welcome back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to make a rectangle that is at least 10 feet by 20 feet. It says something about finding a measurement box in the lower right and tell us what our dimensions are, right? So I will show you how to do that. So the measurement bar is right here. That's what you're looking at, okay? And then to make any kind of rectangle, you just go to right here. That's where rectangle is. It's on the left. You click on that, and then sometimes it'll give you options. You just select rectangle, and then I think it is always easiest to start at the origin. Okay, and so when you get to the origin, you click on it. All right, and then you'll notice that as you start pulling it out this way, it kind of keeps you in this plane right here, right? So like kind of where the ground would be, if you think about it. And if you, as you pull it out, if you watch the dimensions, you'll see they're getting bigger. Like right now, my width, which is my red, is 8'3", and my length is 12 foot 1 3/4, right? So if I need to make something that's at least 10 feet like that, I can just go more this way with it, right? And there we go. I got something that fits the bill. It's at least 10 feet by 12 feet. So when you get the size you want, you click either on your pad or if you got a button or whatever, and you click, and then it gives you a rectangle, right? And then I highly suggest clicking on the select tool just so that you're not like jacking anything up while you're doing that, and keep going. All right, so we got that done. Now it says find the push pull button on the left and make the rectangle into a prism. So that's like a box that is at least 6 feet tall. So we're going to grab this. You grab the push pull tool by clicking on it. Click on it and then select the actual push pull one. And then come over to the thing you want to push pull, which in this case is this. And you need the arrow inside the box. Like you see how it's outside the box right now? It has to be inside the box, and when it is, it gives you that like little light up thing. So you click on it once, and then you will start moving your finger up on your trackpad, and you'll notice that you start to make a box, right? And on the side, it tells you your distance. So right now we're at 4 foot and 11/16. Now we're at 4 foot 9 and 15/16. So we need at least 6 feet. So just keep going until you go past 6. So there we go. And then you click when you're finished. Most of the things that you do on here, you're going to click to start and you're going to click to finish. And when you do that, then it will let you move around without screwing things up, right? Which is kind of nice. And then again, I'm going to click on that tool just so I don't jack anything up, right? Because I'm pretty happy with how everything's turning out so far. So let's cross this off, and it says find the line button on the left, and starting from the upper left corner of your prism, go along the top edge of the front face until you get to the midpoint, right? And so I have this whole part here is sort of sectioned off, sort of weird, because I didn't want to take it for granted that you would know what I meant. All right, so grab your line tool right here. Upper left corner is here, and then as you click on it, and then you move it, right, and then you go until you get to midpoint, right, and now you're going to click on the midpoint, and it kind of goes away. So then when you move this, it has now put the midpoint as an endpoint, right? So you just click on it again, and then you will be able to use it for what we need to use it for, right? I'm going to click, let's see what I mean? And when you do things and you try to get out and it doesn't let you, that's when I just do that, right? And so I know the midpoint is right here, okay? There's the midpoint. I've located it. Good job. Now, go up along the top edge of the prism until you get to the midpoint of the back edge of the prism, all right? So, and then it says starting, right, you're gonna do, so we're gonna find all these midpoints, right? And then we're basically going to connect them, right? So that's the gist of what I'm asking you to do. So here's this midpoint, right? So we're gonna take it, and what's nice is I don't have to find this midpoint first because it'll find it for us, and then you click, and you got that. Now we're gonna do the same thing on this side. There's the midpoint. Midpoint's usually blue. Pull it over, and you see how it's red? That means you're parallel or you're even with the red axis, and that's kind of what you want. right? And you click on that, and then you should have something that looks like this. All right, and so with that, we can get rid of all of these. We ticked all the boxes on this. Okay, now we have it's sectioned into fourths. So what we're going to do now is use the push-pull tool to move the lower left so it's approximately half the height of the original prism. Okay, so that's this one right here. So let's grab our push-pull. You come over here and you can't, this is the face. So you got to remember, if you click the wrong thing and you start moving it, it's going to do, you're going to go, oh man, what's going on? And so you just click on it again to stop it, click undo, and it goes away. All right. So this is the one we want to do. And it said half the height. So if we were at like 6 foot something, so we want to go at least 3 feet and a couple inches, right? So just, I don't know, let's do that. It's a little more than what we need, but that's fine. We're not worried about being exact right now. We're just practicing using these tools. All right, so that's done. And then the push-pull tool to move the upper right. So the upper right, so it's approximately 1.5 times the height of the original prism. So it's taller. So we're using this one, and we're going 1.5 times as high. So we're going to go, we'll do that. We'll go 3'6". That looks good. Click again to make it stop. And you now have this cool looking thing, or weird looking thing, whatever you want to call it, that's at like different levels. It says, in the remaining side of the front face, use the line tool and the push-pull tool to put your initials in the side of the prism so that it either cuts into it or comes out of it, or both. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate what that's going to be like. All right, so the first thing we should probably show you is that there's this cool thing called the orbit tool, and that's right down here. And if you click on it and then you come over to the your thing, and then if you hold a button down, and then with your one of your other fingers move it, you can spin this thing around, right? And I think if you're putting initials in, you probably want to be pretty straight, right? Kind of looking at it, maybe tilt it up a little more, sort of like that. All right, now to use the line tool. Okay, the line tool is, kind of fussy, but it works pretty well. If I'm going to put in my initials, right? So I'm gonna, you can start anywhere else, and you're gonna push pull, so you want it free of the sides, right? So let's start up here, and then the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in, because if I zoom in, it'll look really big and it'll be easy to be picky with it. So I'm going to go right here. And what I'm going to do is, for my initials, is I'm going to make 2 guidelines. I'm going to make a guideline for the top of the letters, and then I'm going to make a guideline for the bottom of the letters. All right, and so these are my guidelines. The red, that kind of tells me they're lined up. I can take this and I can move it over till it lines up with the other one, right? So I'll go boom, click it. So now they're lined up, and we'll call that good. Let's hit stop. All right, so now my first initial is J, right? And so what I think I'm going to do is I think about what the letter J looks like, right? And it looks kind of like, J this way, and then it kind of comes and does this. Well, it'd probably be easiest for me to do this like with a squared off block lettering. So I'm going to use that for one side of it, okay? And then we'll have this. All right, no, don't do that. See what I mean? It gets kind of crazy. So let's go here, and this can be the end of the letter, okay? You'll see how this is lined up with that, right? And then my S, I'll do the same thing. I'll just make some guidelines here. And the nice thing about making guidelines is when you make guidelines, you can get rid of them, right? And that's the best part. All right, so make this my S, okay? And what you can do then, when you have lines that you're not going to need anymore, is you grab this eraser tool and you get rid of them. So you go right on it, you go boom, it goes away. This goes away, right? Because I know I don't need these, because one's going to be my J and one's going to be my S. All right, so let's now make the J. All right, so if I'm going to make the J, I'll make the J the same as the top of the S, right? And I'll do that, and you notice how it's like kind of pink, black, and then it goes red. When it's red is when it's parallel with that, and it looks nice. Okay, so I'll put that there, and then I'm going to kind of find my midpoint here. I'm going to put a line here, and then I'm going to do both sides of this to bring the J down. So we'll go like that, go here. And like we said, we're not looking for exact here. And then take it from, I don't know, from here, just bring it over. All right, I'll go up a little bit, make another line, and then we will take this and we'll use the midpoint of it. That's fine. All right, and so now I'm going to erase a bunch of lines, and you'll see this thing start to take shape. So I go boom, boom, boom. Get rid of you. I can get rid of this one right here. I can get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of, not that, but I can get rid of this and this. And I can get rid of this one. And I can get rid of this one. And now I have a letter J. And it's not, it's not the slickest letter. You can probably do better, but I'm doing this on a video here. And so then to push or pull it, you just go to the middle of it now. And because the lines are gone and everything, it views this as one shape. So you click on it, right? And then to push it in, you just kind of move your finger up. And then to pull it out, you do that. So you could go like this, and you can make that come out, right? And then I could do the same thing after I make the S and make the S come out. All right. So that is how you do this, right? And so at that point, when you finish, then you can finish clicking the stuff off. You're going to take a screenshot. You will need to go online and kind of look at how to do that with your Chromebook. All right. That's a real easy Google thing. And then create a blank Google Doc, put it in there, and answer these questions. And that's basically the assignment. Okay, so hope this helps. Yeah, and so we will see you on the next video that I do an explanation for.